Life is really simple, but we insisted on making it complicated. This quote means that oftentimes, people overthink and overcomplicate things in their lives that could be simple, leading to unnecessary stress and confusion. For example, consider trying to put together a puzzle. Initially, one may get frustrated with the complexity of the puzzle and become overwhelmed. However, if they take a step back and look at the individual pieces, the puzzle becomes easier to put together and the end result is a sense of accomplishment. Happiness does not consist in having what you want, but in wanting what you have. This quote means that true happiness is not about acquiring material possessions or achieving certain milestones, but rather in being content with what one already has and appreciating the present moment. For example, imagine having a freshly baked pie. If one only focuses on wanting more slices or wanting a different flavor, they will never truly enjoy the pie they have in front of them. However, if one appreciates and savors each bite, they will find happiness in what they already have. Attack the evil that is within yourself, rather than attacking the evil that is in others. This quote means that it is important to focus on improving one's own character and behavior, rather than criticizing and condemning others. For example, consider a flower garden. If one only tries to pluck the weeds from other flowers, the garden will never truly flourish. However, if one focuses on nourishing their own flower and letting it grow, the entire garden will benefit. A great man is hard on himself, a small man is hard on others. This quote means that those who have a strong character and hold themselves to high standards are more likely to be successful and respected, while those who are quick to judge and criticize others are viewed as petty and insignificant. For example, consider a builder working on a house. If they take shortcuts and cut corners, the house will be weak and may not stand the test of time. However, if they are diligent and work hard to build a strong foundation, the house will be sturdy and enduring. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. This quote means that true success and strength are not about never making mistakes or facing challenges, but rather in persevering and bouncing back from setbacks. For example, consider a tree growing in a forest. If the tree never experiences wind or rain, it will not grow strong roots and branches. However, if it withstands the storms and continues to grow taller, it will become a magnificent symbol of strength and resilience. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. This quote highlights the idea that beauty is subjective and that different people have different perspectives and interpretations of what is beautiful. Beauty can be found in a wide range of things, from nature to art to human qualities, but not everyone has the ability to see and appreciate it. For example, one person might see a sunset and be struck by its beauty, while another person might not appreciate it as much. This quote encourages us to broaden our perspectives and to look for beauty in unexpected places. A man is great not because he hasn't failed, a man is great because failure hasn't stopped him. This quote is a reminder that success and greatness are not determined by perfection, but by persistence. Everyone makes mistakes and experiences setbacks in life, but it is not the failures that define us, but rather how we respond to them. For example, a famous entrepreneur might have failed multiple times before achieving great success. But it is not the failures that make them great, but rather their determination and resilience in the face of challenges. This quote encourages us to embrace failure as a valuable learning opportunity and to keep moving forward even when things do not go as planned. Don't curse the darkness, light a candle. This quote is a call to action to make a positive change in the world instead of simply complaining about problems. Instead of bemoaning a difficult situation, the quote encourages us to take steps to make it better. For example, if we are unhappy with the state of the world, we can volunteer, donate to charity, or work to make a positive impact in our communities. By taking action, we can be a light in the darkness and bring hope and positivity to those around us. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation there is sure to be failure. This quote emphasizes the importance of hard work and preparation in achieving success. Success is not just handed to us, but rather it is the result of careful planning and effort. For example, a student who wants to get good grades needs to put in the time and effort to study, do their homework, and prepare for exams. Without this preparation, they are likely to fail. This quote reminds us that success is not just a matter of luck, but of putting in the effort and preparation needed to achieve our goals. Don't worry if people don't recognize your merits, worry that you may not recognize theirs. This quote encourages us to focus on recognizing and appreciating the qualities and achievements of others, rather than just worrying about receiving recognition for our own. By recognizing the merits of others, we can build strong relationships and foster a sense of community and teamwork. For example, in a workplace setting, if we focus on recognizing the contributions and successes of our coworkers, we can create a positive and supportive work environment. This quote reminds us that success is not just about achieving our own goals, but also about supporting and valuing the achievements of others. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. The quote means that silence can be a trustworthy ally as it never reveals secrets or betrays confidences. Just like a true friend, silence can be counted on to protect your thoughts and ideas. For example, imagine having a secret you don't want to share. Keeping it to yourself is like having a silent friend who will never tell anyone else. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. The quote emphasizes the importance of consistency and perseverance in achieving one's goals. The speed of progress doesn't matter as much as continuing to make progress. For example, imagine trying to climb a mountain. No matter how slow you go, as long as you keep moving forward, you'll eventually reach the top. 3 things cannot long be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. The quote suggests that truth is always revealed in the end, just like the sun and moon cannot be hidden for long. No matter how hard someone tries to conceal the truth, it will eventually come to light. For example, imagine trying to hide a bright light under a blanket. Eventually, the light will shine through, just like the truth will eventually come to light. He who learns but does not think, is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. The quote suggests that both learning and thinking are important for growth and development. Someone who only learns without applying their knowledge is missing an important step, just like someone who only thinks but doesn't learn new information is limiting their growth. For example, imagine having a map but never using it. You'll never reach your destination, just like someone who only learns but never thinks will never be able to apply their knowledge. The hardest thing of all is to find a black cat in a dark room, especially if there is no cat. The quote is meant to be humorous and highlights the difficulty of finding something that doesn't exist. The phrase, finding a black cat in a dark room, is often used to describe a difficult or impossible task. For example, imagine searching for a needle in a haystack. The task is even more difficult if the needle doesn't exist. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. To have real knowledge, it's not enough to just have information or data, you need to have an understanding of what you don't know and where your limitations lie. Knowing the extent of one's ignorance means having the humility and self-awareness to recognize your blind spots and areas for growth. For example, a carpenter who knows their trade well but acknowledges that they don't know much about plumbing is demonstrating the extent of their knowledge and ignorance. An orchid in a deep forest sends out its fragrance even if no one is around to appreciate it. This quote is a reminder that our actions and behavior should not be dependent on external validation or recognition. Just like the orchid, we should be true to ourselves and do what is right, even if no one is around to witness it. Doing things just for the sake of recognition is like playing to an empty theater. It's more important to be authentic and true to ourselves. Those people who develop the ability to continuously acquire new and better forms of knowledge that they can apply to their work and to their lives will be the movers and shakers in our society for the indefinite future. This quote emphasizes the importance of continuous learning and personal development. Those who seek out new knowledge and skills and put them into practice will be the ones who drive change and innovation in the world. This can be seen in fields like technology, where people who are continuously learning and adapting are often at the forefront of advancements. Just like a gardener who continually nurtures their garden with new techniques, those who continuously seek out new knowledge will be the ones who flourish in their careers and lives. Thank you for watching. Subscriptions and likes are a great help in video production.